The House averted a government shutdown today with just 3 days to spare. Once again, Democrats stepped in to provide the votes, passing new Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson's short-term plan to fund the government, 336 to 95. The plan will extend funding for half of the government until January 19th and the other half through February 2nd. And I'm just going to pretend that that makes any sense as a way to fund the $27 trillion government of the whole United States. I will also note that Johnson is not facing calls to remove him as Speaker for relying on Democrats for the votes to pass the baby funding bill, even though doing the self-same thing cost Kevin McCarthy the gavel a mere 6 weeks ago. Go figure. But lingering tensions over that explain some of the meltdown since hostility was the word of the day on Capitol Hill. House Republican Tim Burchett, who voted to remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, accused McCarthy of deliberately elbowing him in the kidney while he was being interviewed.
It's just a little different the way people react in Tennessee than they do in California. In Tennessee, if you've got a problem with somebody, you take it to them face to face. I guess in Southern California, where he's from, you take a cheap shot at somebody from behind.
For his part, Kevin McCarthy said he didn't hit Burchett intentionally. And in a totally mature way, McCarthy added, if I kidney punched him, he'd be on the ground. To top it all off, Matt Gaetz filed an ethics complaint against McCarthy over the whole thing. And things also went off the rails in a House oversight hearing when Republican Chair James Comer called Democrat Jared Moskowitz a Smurf over a report that Comer did the same thing that he wants to impeach President Biden for, giving his brother a loan. But since testosterone is a hell of a drug, the macho man antics spilled over to the Senate. Former MMA fighter turned Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin tried to throw down with the president of the Teamsters during a committee hearing.
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down.
Look at you.
You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay. Sit down, please.
Oh, Lord. Joining me now is Congressman Ro Khanna of California. Congressman, I feel constrained to ask you, before we start this interview, would you like to fight?
Well, Joy, I'm happy to report that I made it to the camera unscathed. I didn't know that we were in the 1800s with people challenging each other to duels, but I'm glad Bernie Sanders stood up to restore some decorum. But here's the thing that's not getting covered. You know what we were voting on in there? The Republicans literally had amendments to say that they want to zero out the National Institute of Health, no cancer research. They want to zero out all student financial aid. They want to zero out all math and science education. Their agenda is so extreme, so dangerous, and that's what really we need to focus on.
And why is it, do you think, that Speaker Johnson was able to get away with passing a clean mini funding bill, which I think it's ridiculous to fund the government, honestly, through February in two halves. I think it's silly. But he did get something done that kicks the can. Why do you think he's getting away with it when Kevin McCarthy couldn't?
Troy, you're asking the impossible to provide reasonable explanation for the actions of the Republican caucus. You can have expert after expert, and I don't think anyone would answer that. But I think it shows that a lot of the grievance against McCarthy was personal, and it didn't have as much to do with the substance. And again, it's the Democrats staying unified, being the adults in the room, funding government, and it's the Republicans who want to cut basic services.
You know, the thing is that the core of the fight? Because it does seem to me that the arguments of the far right, I guess they're all right, far right, against all of these funding bills is that they actually don't want to fund any of this. They don't want to fund, as you said, Head Start and preschool funding, and I guess they don't even want to do roads and bridges. What have they communicated so that the Democratic caucus understands what they do want to pay for?
They have not. They just want to cut things. And I think part of the challenge is, Joy, these are such extreme, ridiculous proposals. Literally, they have amendments. We want to make the NIH director $1 salary, Department of Education that gives money for special needs kids, $1 salary, that the Democrats almost think it's so ridiculous we don't need to argue against it. But we need to let the American people know what's at stake, particularly in 2024. You have a Republican Party that wants to cut science, that wants to cut cancer research, that wants to cut education, that wants to make cuts in Social Security, that wants to make cuts in Medicare, and you have a Democratic Party that is standing up to fund the basic social safety net that this country has had since the New Deal. So that's really the choice in this election.
Let me play for you Matt Gaetz, who started all of this by doing the motion to vacate against Kevin McCarthy before. Here he is explaining why it's different for Mike Johnson.
There's a fundamental difference here between Johnson and McCarthy. McCarthy had 7 months. Johnson's only had a few weeks. Mike Johnson and Kevin McCarthy both promised us a path to single-subject spending bills. In 7 months of Kevin McCarthy being Speaker, he only delivered one of them. If Mike Johnson is only able to deliver, one of them over 7 months, then he would likely face a motion to vacate too.
Single-subject spending bills. Please explain to our audience what that is.
Well, what that means is that they want to vote on one spending issue at a time. They don't want to link education funding with Ukraine funding. But look, funding government is complex. It's a trillions of dollar budget. You can't just say we're going to fund everything one piece at a time for every vote. The concerning thing about Matt Gaetz's comments here is it makes it seem that Johnson's on a timeline. And I once said the question is whether British prime ministers were going to last longer or House Republican speakers. I was joking, and now I think, it's a real question. I mean, the question is how long till they get the next person?
And head of lettuce usually beats all of them, because 7 months is actually not a long time. It must be mad-making for you to be in a House of Representatives where the timeline for whether a speaker can remain is 7 months. Speaker Pelosi was speaker for many, many, many years. Most speakers last for years. Matt Gaetz has literally said, essentially, Mike Johnson has 7 months to reduce spending to each bill, everything one at a time, which is madness.
It's madness, and it is reducing spending that is going to hurt working families. As costs have gone up, people say, okay, the grocery bills are high and rents are high. We get it as Democrats, and we've got policies to help put more money in their pockets. We've got policies to cut their costs, to provide child care, to provide education, to help with medical debt. And the Republicans are saying all the government assistance that you currently have, whether it is education funding, whether it is funding for Social Security, Medicare, we want to take it away. That's really the choice. It has been the choice since Newt Gingrich tried it in the 1990s. It was the same choice when Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan tried it, and now it's the same choice on steroids. And people need to start paying attention to their votes. They want to dismantle the United States government.